SBR Videos is sponsored by Sports Cash System. Click on the link below for more information. Hi, welcome to SBRForum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing Week 5 in the NFL, and right now we are talking with one of my favorite guests when it comes to NFL handicapping, Scott Kellen from SixCentSports.com. NFL handicapping is all he does. He's been very successful at it for more than 10 years now. Scott, thanks for being back with us this week.
Hey, not a problem. Thanks for having me, Peter.
All right, well, no, thank you, because last week you went 2-0 against the spread in the two videos that you did with us. Great call on Cleveland +4 and great call on the over in the Detroit-Chicago game. That brings you to 5-2 against the spread overall in the videos you've done with us. Give a plug for SixCentSports.com before we get into this game.
Yeah, as you said, Peter, SixCentSports.com, NFL-only handicapping. We won 9 out of the last 11 years. Had a nice week last week, going 4-2. We're about as transparent as it comes. We put our games up there about 30 minutes after kickoff, so you know exactly what we're playing. All of our plays are on the website, so you can see all the plays for the whole year. And like I said, 9 out of 11 winning years. And we've got great 4-week packages, half-season packages, full-season packages. Go ahead, take a look at the website, SixCentSports.com. And if you got any questions, certainly feel free to shoot me an email, and I'll get right back to you.
All right, great. San Diego at Oakland is the game that you chose to discuss this week. Now, Oakland is currently a 4-point home underdog, and that's gone down a bit. They actually opened at about 5. I saw on Bookmaker and got initially bet up to close to around 6. Now it's down to 4, and I'll tell you, when I looked at this game, my first thought is, okay, Oakland as a home dog, you know, I liked them last week. I got burned on it, but again, I'm thinking, all right, that's going to be the sharp play. The sharp's going to like Oakland here. Then I looked into it a little bit more, though. You know, that's kind of a, Washington is not a, one of the top teams in the NFL. And to have a lead at halftime at home and then let them come back and get a win and cover, that's a bad sign to me. Matt Flynn didn't play well. Terrell Pryor, he's still a rookie with coming off a concussion. You're going to throw him into the fire this week. They've got a bunch of other injuries on offense, which is why they blew it in the second half last week. So I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, how are they going to score? With what weapons are they going to hang close? Who's going to be the quarterback? And, San Diego, they have some issues, but Phillip Rivers passing great. Their weapons on offense are really dangerous right now. I'm thinking maybe San Diego -4 is the way to go. Is that what you like here?
No, I'm going to take the contrarian approach here and go with Oakland. No, this is all predicated on Pryor playing, which I think he'll play. And obviously if McFadden and Reese play and those guys are more questionable, that would help more. There's no question it's a contrarian play here, but this is kind of the way things work in the NFL sometimes. Mm-hmm. And there's no question San Diego is playing unbelievably well. Rivers is out of his mind. I think he's completed about 80% of his passes each of the last 2 weeks, which is kind of unheard of. And their offense, I think they're averaging 7.9 yards a pass against teams that put up 6.2. So they've been phenomenal throwing the ball. They're well above average in their yards per play against their competition. But defensively, they're just the opposite of that. They give up 5.1 yards a rush. They give up 7.6 yards a pass. They give up 6.7 yards a play. And they're going to face an Oakland team that is averaging 5 yards a rush against a collection of teams that allow 4.4 yards a rush. So Oakland's above average running the ball. Now, a lot of that's Terrell Pryor, and obviously, like I said, he has to play in this game. I think he will. Flynn was awful last week. I thought they'd be okay with Flynn. He was just downright awful.
Right.
But I like Pryor here. San Diego is a road favorite, whether you go back 1, 2, 3, or even 5 or 6 years. They're well below 500 when they've laid points on the road. And Oakland qualifies in a great Week 5 situation, which basically it puts them in a must-win situation for their season. That's 47-13-2, and they also qualify in numerous rushing situations of mine as well. So San Diego kind of seems like the play here because Oakland's kind of a mess as they are every year. San Diego's playing well. But I've done the NFL long enough to know that, number one, it looks like there's some value here in Oakland. I've got some great situations, and when I get fundamental situations with just your generic trend situations all showing to the same team, that's usually a pretty good sign for that team. And if Pryor can play, I think he can make enough plays with his legs to make something happen here. I'll grab the points plus the points and kind of an ugly play, but I think Oakland's got a chance here. And if they come out and announce that McFadden and Reese aren't playing, maybe we can get a little bit more value and this line pops up a little bit. I'm waiting to play the game, so I don't think it comes down a lot more. But if McFadden and Reese don't play, then maybe we can catch her 5 or 6 or something late in the week too. So I think Oakland's to play here.
I hear you. All right, look, I've been handicapping the NFL, long enough myself to know that when I see this line, the sharps are going to be on Oakland. But I haven't been handicapping it long enough to actually have the balls to bet it. And I'll tell you why. It's just I look at this game, Terrell Pryor, he's still a rookie. I'm going to, reiterate some of the points that I made before. He's still a rookie coming off of an injury and, coming off a concussion, and the way he plays, with all that running, he's likely to get hit again. It makes me very nervous. He could easily go out again in the first half, taking another hit. The first time he gets like a big solid hit, they might pull him again, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Flynn proved last week he's not going to be the answer. And I did neglect to say San Diego lost Greeny last week, so that'll have a small impact on them. Nothing great. But I do know when I look at and when I get multiple rushing situations like I've got, it's just hard to ignore those plays. Last week Arizona looked like a very ugly play. In a way, got lucky to win that game, but they dominated that game statistically. I don't think many people thought New England was going to go in and win against Atlanta team laying a short number that never loses at home. New England's decimated by injuries. Somehow they win. Now, obviously, Terrell Pryor in Oakland is not New England and not even Carson Palmer in Arizona. But as I said, this is just kind of the way things go sometimes in NFL. And, the beauty of this thing is I can recommend Oakland. And Oakland's not going to blow out San Diego. I can guarantee you that. They're going to scratch and claw to a victory if they cover. But San Diego could certainly blow out Oakland and make this play look like a horrible play.
Right.
But I just know from my handicap and research, when I get these things lined up, that's the side to go on. And sometimes it's hard to even make a case for it, but that's the side. I think it's the right side to be on if you're going to bet anything, and then you just have to have enough balls to make the play.
I definitely do not, even though I know that the sharps are going to be on this game. The public prize is going to be on San Diego. But so when you're looking at your rushing numbers, you're going to take those numbers even though the starting running back, the fullback, and the center are all having injury issues.
Yeah, and a great example of that was last year. Washington went to Cleveland, and obviously and they were a great rushing play in that game. And a lot of those numbers obviously were from Robert Griffin. And Kirk Cousins goes in there, and they blow Cleveland out as a fairly large dog in that game. So, yeah, you can start to kind of cut these. And that's why I think Pryor's got to play, though, because a lot of that rushing stuff is from Pryor as well. If he doesn't play, then I'm likely not going to be on this game. But I'm pretty convinced he'll play in this game. And if he does, I think they can do enough. McFadden's not having that great of a year, I don't believe. I'd have to look his numbers up specifically, but I don't think he's having that great of a year. So even if he doesn't play, I don't think it's a huge loss for them. Pryor, I think, is the one that's the key play there. If he doesn't play, all bets are off. I've lost this game. But if he's playing, I think they have a relatively decent shot based on everything I'm looking at.
All right, great call as always. Scott Kellen from 6centsports.com liking Oakland +4 over San Diego. Thanks, Scott.